Friends, welcome back. I am Jason, and we're talking about self-sufficiency today. I think there's something really rewarding about being able to take care of problems, solve problems yourself, without having to call in the lifeline, without having to call a guy to come repair the thing. Just doing it yourself. There's something really rewarding about that. And it's hard to really put my finger on it. I don't know what exactly it is about that. And maybe just it's an improved self-confidence, perhaps, a pride that I have in being able to fix some things myself. I am definitely not a good mechanic. I've been struggling here on this motorcycle for a while now. Putting this rear tire, I've got a brand new tire on here. This was a real struggle, most likely because I didn't have the right tools, but I got it done with the toolkit that I carry with me on the motorcycle. So if I was to have a flat on the side of the road somewhere in the middle of the wilderness, surrounded by polar bears and whatnot, but if I was broke down in the middle of nowhere and I had a flat tire, I could repair that flat tire on the side of the road. So I've got that going for me. That gives me this added confidence, the confidence to head out and do adventurous things that I enjoy doing so much. If I didn't have that confidence, I'd be less likely to embark upon those types of adventures. So I think that's why it's so important to do things yourself and figure out, solve problems, as opposed to just going immediately to ask for help, from whether it be Google or AI or another person or whatever. Just being able to do things yourself, I think, is super important. And that's why, I like to work on my own equipment. I like to work on my motorcycle myself, if at all possible. There's occasionally a situation that comes up where you need specialized equipment, tools, and know-how to be able to do certain things. But for the most part, generally speaking, simple, basic tools, you can do it all yourself. So every time I work on my motorcycle, I use this toolkit right here. And this is essentially all that I have on the motorcycle at any given time. And if I get to a project, I get to a job on this motorcycle that I can't do with this toolkit, I know that I need to add it to the toolkit, whatever, a different size Phillips head screwdriver or whatever. Doesn't matter, different size wrench. Doesn't matter. I need to add it to the toolkit. And so far, so good. I can pretty much disassemble and reassemble this entire motorcycle with what I've got right there. And I think that is pretty dang handy. So what are you doing? I saw the tarp moving over there. Couldn't figure out what was going on. I was like, that's weird. And we've got a Maggie underneath it. As I've got to tackle this front tire, you can see the tread on it is pretty much shot. So we've got to swap that baby out, and I've got a brand new one right here ready to go, ready to wrestle with. Tire changing on motorcycles is always a good time, especially on the side of the road. It's difficult at home when you're in the shop, but it's really fun on the side of the road. So here's a good example of what I'm talking about. Here is the wrench that I've been carrying in my toolkit. And it's gotten the job done thus far, but it's a cheapo, it's a combo. It's a 10 and a 12 millimeter wrench, opened end wrench. But when I put it onto my nut here to loosen up this front axle, do you see that? It's got a lot of play to it, and that open end wrench with that much wobble in it tells me that it's probably gonna round off my nuts and bolts and stuff. And I can't be having that in the middle of the wilderness. So I've got a better wrench right here with a boxed end. It's not a combo, so that means that I'd have to either find a better combo wrench or just add the 12 millimeter wrench as well, so I can have a boxed end. And that right there is going to be much more better. baby powder. I'm gonna improvise here, or slick that up a little bit. It's the struggle that makes it worth it, I think. I mean, it's the struggle that makes it rewarding when you finish, when you finally conquer the stupid, stubborn tire. The rear one was way worse. Partly because I don't have long enough levers here, but I'm not that great of a mechanic either. With each struggle, I get a little bit better. I get a little bit more confident. And I'm sure you moto heads out there are probably going to be looking at this and be like, oh, you're doing this and that wrong, whatever. It's like, yeah, you can sideline it, you can armchair quarterback it all you want, but you can't knock the guys that are out there doing it. It's easy for me to watch, other survival channels or something like that, and be like and be critical of it. But the fact remains that they're out there doing it. If someone's out there doing it and struggling, maybe they're really struggling and they just don't necessarily need to be because of a lack of experience or whatever. That's fine, because they're gaining that experience through the struggle. So whenever I see somebody like really sucking it up, but really getting after it, I mean, trying their best, I think that's an admirable thing. On the adventures and stuff that I go on, it's the problems that come along that are my favorite part. It's when the weather gets bad and nasty. It's when the breakdowns happen. It's when you're tired and fatigued and really struggling. That's my favorite part of the trips, of the adventures. When I ride motorcycles with buddies, my favorite thing to do is to ride sweep. That's the last man in the line. You got a bunch of guys riding, and I want to be the last guy. Several reasons. One, I'm not that great of a rider, so I'm kind of slow. Two, it's because I get the opportunity to come across all the problems. The faster riders that are out there in front, inevitably they wind up in a ditch, perhaps. And I get to be there to help them when I slowly creep up on them. When I slowly arrive upon the scene, safe and sound. I enjoy that. I like getting people unstuck, and I like getting myself unstuck. It's the bloody knuckles. I did that yesterday actually on the rear tire, but it keeps busting open. It's the scars. That's what makes the memories. It's the scars. And chicks dig scars. Everybody knows that. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Hey, if you're a chick, do you actually dig scars, or is that just, something we've always told ourselves, giving us an excuse to do stupid things? I want to know. I want to know the truth. We did it. All right. Put our valve stem back in and then put some air in it, see how we did. I think we've got the beads seated all the way around, and now we can let a little bit of that air out, get it down to the running tire pressure. Getting to know your equipment, your tools, your machines, by working on them, I think gives you not just confidence, but it gives you it's just a rewarding feeling, Knowing the ins and outs and how everything works and how everything goes together gives you the confidence, like I said earlier, to go out and do adventurous things, to engage in adventurous activities that otherwise we might be too fearful to do. My whole life, people have tried to talk me out of doing adventurous things, you know, because generally speaking, it's because they're too afraid to do it themselves. Too lazy, too afraid to do it themselves. And like I always tell my kids, the world is completely chock full, just jam-packed full of lazy, wimpy idiots. And our only job is to not be one of them. If you could accomplish that right there, don't be a lazy, wimpy idiot. There's a lot to unravel in that right there, a lot to sort through. But if you can manage to not be one of them, you're going to do all right. Friends, that's just about all the maintenance that old Rocco is going to get for the day. I appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Links to all sorts of ways to help support the channel if you'd like to do so. And until next time, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go on 3.